Well, hello there. I'm just taking a break from doing a bit of gardening. And there's so much litter in the front garden. The lovely people here ha- eat their food as they walk home from the shops, and then they just throw their wrappers on the floor. And of course, when the wind blows, it ends up in our garden. So, I've done my neighbourly duty and made our garden look a bit nicer in the front. As for the back garden, it's an absolute jungle. Since I've been away at sea and then my holiday and come back, the, it's literally ankle deep, the grass. So I've been trimming, and I'll get the lawnmower out. I'll do the raking tomorrow, I think, and then tidy up a bit more trimming, and then rake again, and then put the lawnmower over on Monday. It's not a pink gin, in case you're asking. It's not even a holy grail. Anyway, so I'm experimenting with a couple of new microphones. I don't know if you can see them, one there, one there. It's not stereo, I don't think. I think it's dual mono. So we'll see. And I've got noise reduction simply because there's people playing copyrighted music in the background, and I don't want to get copy strike. So, as always, if I go over the 8 minutes, I will not put the midterm adverts in, uh, just for your viewing pleasure. Um, but if you can, hit the like and subscribe button, because over 89% of my viewers are not subscribed. Unbelievable, isn't it? Yet they find it fascinating enough to watch, but not to subscribe. Anyway, it doesn't cost you a penny to subscribe, and of course, you don't have to click the notification, but it certainly all helps the channel grow, as you know. My little video that I did surviving the earthquake on Rhodes reached, well, when I checked it this morning, 999 views. So that's good. That got me almost 6p in revenue. That'll make me rich, won't it? Anyway, yeah, it was an absolutely dream of a holiday. It really was. It's taken me 40 odd years to save up, I suppose. That was because I got a lump sum for my pension, because I started drawing my pension early, and that's what paid for my car and the kitchen and this holiday. So that's over 40 years of pension contributions. I think my other holiday that I had abroad was when I was about 25, I think, 30, 36, 32 years ago, is it 31 years ago? And when I went on a sailing holiday, that was before I met Sarah, way before I met Sarah. Yeah, so I was quite young then. It was a singles holiday, not that kind of singles holiday, but it was just a holiday for a single person to go on a sailing boat. It was a small yacht, single-masted, mainsail, jib, all that kind of stuff. Down in Corsica, Sardinia way, and that was a lovely holiday. And that was the last time I went abroad on holiday, as it were, not to visit my Elizabeth out in France. I really didn't expect her to be in France, but I've been out on a family visit twice now to France, and of course now that baby Abby's here, I really ought to start saving up my pennies and go out there to see baby Abby, my first, probably only granddaughter. So that would definitely be worth saving up for. The flights, yeah, the flights aren't that bad, but it's the spending money, isn't it? You've got to, you've got probably a couple of £100 in spending money while you're there. Of course, you don't have to go out every night or every afternoon. Anyway, how are you? I know a friend has just lost their dog, and I can tell you it is devastating, absolutely devastating. It will tear you up. When I lost my dog, it ripped my heart out, I tell you. I know my dad died a few months previous, and we knew he was ill. He's been ill for quite a long time. We just didn't realise how serious it was. and he went downhill fast. When he got towards the end, mercifully it was quick. You know, 1 minute he was okay, the next minute he was gone. So um, luckily I did get to see him a few months before, and he didn't look good anyway. So um, getting back to the losing a dog, losing the dog was more difficult, I think, than losing my father. Although it was heart wrenching to lose my father, but I knew he was going to go, you know. But when you lose a dog, it happens 9 times out of 10. It's just so sudden, you know. You just don't know. You know, you just don't know. And of course, Sarah and I, we are still grieving now. You know, 18 months on, we're still grieving for the dog. Yes, getting another dog would help. I do want to get another dog, but that's not the right move for everyone, I know. You know, they are a bind, they are a burden. But boy, was our little Boston a character. He was so fun. So fun. But yeah, maybe in a few years' time, when the heartache's gone, we'll get another dog. But yeah, for my friend who lost their dog, my heart goes out. It's the worst feeling in the world to lose a dog. And of course, he was actually cremated. Our Uncle Ray, poor old Uncle Ray, nice chap. He was finding out a lot about him at the funeral. Although he was one of the few of Sarah's relatives that would actually take the time out to come and talk to me, because I hardly see anybody. I only see people at Christmas for a couple of hours, and half of the people I don't know that I've forgotten half the names. I know there's a few of the closer relatives that we see slightly more than once a year at Christmas. But yeah, but Uncle Ray was the only one really who would take his time out and come and have a little chat, not just to me, but to everybody. And I found out he was a painter and decorator, and he worked for the council, decorating some of the council offices. But of course, he's been retired now a good few years. Keen motorcycle enthusiast as well. I don't think he, well, I never saw him with one. So he probably gave up that when he got to his 70s, I suppose. Yeah. But anyway, back to the holiday. A bit more cheerful things rather than funerals and deaths in the family. Yeah. So the flight out to Greece was delayed, so we got there late. But the hotel staff actually put by some sandwiches for us because they knew we were late. So that was quite nice. While we were filling out all the forms and stuff that you had to fill out. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and it had gone up a star rating. When we bought the hotel, when we paid for it, it was a 4-star hotel. When we got there, it was a 5-star hotel. And of course, this is a 5-star hotel. You have to pay more in taxes. So we had to pay the taxes up front. Luckily, I was prepared for that. Yeah. But yeah, it's a lovely little holiday place. The hotel itself had a shop, as they normally do, which sold sweets and crisps and stuff like that. Then there was another shop that sold bags and hats and all that kind of stuff. There was also a jewellery shop, as you might expect in a posh hotel. And I did manage to get Sarah, I'll have to show you some pictures of her earrings. They've got opal inlay in there. I bought that. That was her birthday present. And of course, one of her birthday presents was a trip out to Symi. Now, Symi is that island that Max Mosley died. Mike Mosley, the TV doctor, he died on that island. So they don't know. It's a little bit, I would say, they don't know exactly what his cause of death was, which is a bit of a shame, really. But yeah, it's a lovely little island. We only had a couple of hours there. We just walked around the harbour entrance and then back again. Stopped for something to eat and something to drink, and we had an ice cream. One little shop had a sign up saying no photographs. Why would you have a shop that's open to everyone to walk in and wander around and look at? Why would you say no photographs? I don't understand because I've quite a good photographic memory, and I could probably remember half the things that he didn't want me to photograph. Anyway, so but he was all right about it. He just pointed me at the sign, and I said, okay, then I won't go past that sign, which is only fair, isn't it? Because you've got to be able to go up to the sign to read it to know that you can't photograph beyond that sign. So I didn't. I wasn't going to be an auditor. You know what it's like. You've seen all those, yeah. Talk about YouTube stuff. Have you seen YouTube? There's so many channels popping up, basically slagging off Starmer, but loads and loads of channels coming up, all with computer voices. I can't stand the computer voice because they don't get their words right. They can't say Starmer. They call it Starry, Starmer. They just can't get it right. There's other words as well that they keep mixing up. It's a bit like lead and lead, isn't it? Pencil lead and to lead something. They get that wrong as well. But that's the way of things. Where the world, I suppose, now with AI coming along so fast now. You know, it's AI's doing doctors out of a job now. 9 times out of 10, you ask ChatGPT what's wrong with you, and that will be 100% accurate 99% of the time. I'm not saying you should go to ChatGPT to get your your diagnosis, but I'm just saying that it's beginning to get better than a doctor because there's so much information out there, and of course ChatGPT has access to all that data instantly. It's absolutely amazing. When I was talking to my daughter yesterday in France, and she was saying that there's been a group of Chinese students who asked ChatGPT what the numbers were for their lottery. So they spent quite a lot of money on it, and they did win a bit, I understand. So as a bit of a laugh, I actually asked ChatGPT to give me some numbers for Saturday's lottery. So I've got three sets of numbers. So I bought 3 tickets for Saturday night's lottery using the ChatGPT predicted numbers based on past frequencies. But it, as a caveat to giving me these numbers, it said that every single combination of numbers has the same odds as winning the lottery as any other set of numbers. So I'm not holding out any luck. But as it was our birthdays, we'll see. We'll see. Wouldn't it be a coincidence if we did win? But I doubt it very much. But the money goes to good causes, I suppose. So I don't feel too guilty about spending £6 on a lottery ticket. But isn't the weather gorgeous? Does anyone remember the summer of 1976? That was I can't remember how old I was now. I must have been about 14. Yeah, I was about 14. 1976, I was 14, born in 64. So 12. I was 12. What a summer that was. I remember how hot it was, but we didn't have weather warnings. I feel traumatized now that the BBC didn't put out a weather warning back in 1976. I think I should claim some kind of compensation from the BBC for not putting that out and having bright red, burnt red maps showing the heat. Of course, back in 1976, we were expecting another ice age. So, I don't know what to believe. And some of the few things that are coming up, I'm beginning to hear now, is that the sea is getting deeper. In some parts of the ocean, the sea floor is actually receding. So any melt on the sea ice is actually, well, it displaces its own volume of water anyway. But it's the land ice that's melting that will cause sea rise. And of course, we're not getting any sea rise, and so they're putting it now beginning to put two and two together and say, well, if the ice is melting, where's it going? Well, because the ocean are getting deeper, and of course, land masses are actually coming out of the waters very slowly. Like take these islands that Al Gore was talking about, saying that they were all going to be underwater in 20 years' time. So that was like 10 years ago. Saying yes, we're going to be underwater. Children are going to be over their heads with water. And of course, that hasn't happened, has it? But yeah, getting back to the holiday. Oh, blimey! Look at the time. Yeah, it was on some days it was 35 degrees, and I think when we went up to Lindos at the top there, um, that was so hot, so hot. I didn't take any water. I took some water from the bottom, and by the time I'd reached the bottom of the steps to go up, I'd run out of water. So I just kept on going, thinking that there might be something up the top or a bit of shade. But how wrong was I? There was virtually no shade at the top of the Acropolis, nowhere to get a bottle of water. And yeah, it was a bit scary. I did actually slip. I don't know if you watched the video, but I did actually slip at one point, and I thought I was going to go over. But having said that, I didn't see much blood on the rocks. So not many people could have fallen over. Mind you, it probably wouldn't have lasted long. Probably would have evaporated it before it hit the ground. But yeah, that was very, very steep, and the where the rocks have been worn smooth by countless footfalls, it was very slippery in places. So I wouldn't recommend it if you're not stable on your feet, but definitely take up 2 or 3 bottles of water because you'll need them, especially this time of year. What's it come back to now? It said it's 28 on my little watch for this area where I am in Hull, saying it's 28 degrees. So it's only 7 degrees cooler than it was in Lindos on holiday. But it's a different type of heat. In the Greek islands where we were, the soil was parched. It was dry as anything. So there was no moisture in the air. So me, I'm just doing a bit of gardening now. I pull back some grass, and the grass is still wet underneath. On the soil, it's still damp because it's just, I don't know, it's just humid here. And as you know, humidity is not a friend to us because we can't evaporate the sweat from our skins because the air has got so much moisture in it anyway. It's difficult to evaporate the moisture from our skins into the atmosphere if it's already saturated. But one of the things out in Rhodes was that the air was so dry, you didn't feel so hot because any sweat would evaporate instantly. It would keep you cool. And as you probably saw, I suffered a bit. My tops of my ears got a bit burnt, but I did have some lotion on, so it didn't actually burn. So that was a good thing. But yeah, it was paradise my holiday. I can't get over. I can't tell you enough what a great place it was to go. Sarah loved it. Sarah wants to go back. She would have gone back. She would have gone back today if she could have done. But no, she's at work, bless her. And she's pulling an all day tomorrow. Sunday she's working all day, so I'm going to be on my own. So I'm going to get the old strimmer out and do a bit more gardening. And there we are, back to the beginning again. So, it's getting on for almost 20 minutes. Terribly sorry it's been so long, but this is a grapefruit flavoured isotonic drink just to try and humidify myself, rehydrate myself. But anyway, please write something in the comments. Let me know how you're getting on, how your holiday's been, if you've had a holiday yet this year. I know one of my followers, Mark, his name is. He's just, I don't think he had 2 weeks. I think he had a week out in Turkey. Well, we could see the Turkish border from our little resort in the evening as we were watching the sunset. But one of the big islands that we could see was actually Simi, and the islands the other side, the very shadowy islands, were actually the Greek islands, not the Greek, the Turkish islands. So we were in the same area, roughly, but boy was it hot. Boy was it hot. well, not a bother for me because a ship's engine room is just as hot, even hotter. Anyway, I think I better stop and get myself indoors, make myself another drink, and get myself a sandwich. Get Sarah a sandwich because she'll be home soon. No, she won't. She'll be home at 2 o'clock. Anyway, so I'll catch you all on the next one. Have a great rest of your weekend. Try and get some videos out next week. I've got lots more to do, edit and color grade and whatever. So expect some more videos next week. Anyway, have a great Saturday afternoon and evening, and Sunday. I'll see you then. Bye then.